Well, how about that? I got things tangled up. Tripod stuck on my cords. Jeez. Okay, let's mute that. All right, I know that's working. Chat's working. Everything's working. Oh, my goodness. Look at that hair. Boy, that hair is something else. What do you think? How's everybody doing? Man, trying to get caught up here. Still loading things up, still goofing off. You know how it is. I better turn this on. I'm running just a little bit behind, as if you didn't know already. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing good. A lot of people in the chat. Got it all loaded up. Everything's going. May as well get this show on the road, and let's bring in that old guy that only looks good in front of his studio camera with all his lights and makeup. Everybody, welcome to the show. The co-host, the one and only grumpy vlogger, Lloyd Mendenhall, everybody.
Howdy, Mel. How you doing?
Doing good, Lloyd, doing good.
Yeah, you heard my comment on Art Show today then.
Yeah, oh yeah, I typed to you. I
Yeah.
said, it's amazing what lights and makeup can do for you.
Oh, I'm telling you, man. I was looking at that camera like, who is that old fart? Oh my God, that's me.
Yeah. Pretty amazing the difference between the different types of cameras and their quality and the lighting, and when you get your lighting set the way you like it, you know.
This one's a lot further away, so it's not. Whereas I was holding this like right here, and it was like, hey, I'm gonna have to set something up different when I get to the cabin tomorrow. So.
Yep. Well.
Yeah, we were just up there for a day trip to drop off a bunch of stuff that we'd picked up this last week, take up there. And we were going to go out today, and I was a little wore out from all the running this week, and Judy was too, so we'll go tomorrow. Plus, the last part of our toilet conundrum, the bowl, will be in tomorrow.
Ah, okay.
Either that or I'm getting videos. I'm not sure which. I'm pretty sure it's the toilet.
So tomorrow you get to go bowling. I
get to go bowling. Yeah.
That's extra special. Yeah. Just anyway. Say hello to everybody in chat. My little brother Backwoods Droner. Chris Doc Murdoch's in the house. Jody, Captain Ray Kelly. Mr. Stay Drunk Grant, how are you? Going down the list. No new names. There's Art. I see Art, and then there's is it Sean? Hot Rod in Daytona? I can't remember. Hot Rod in Daytona.
His name is Rod.
Oh, Rodney. That's right, Rodney.
Yeah. Rod.
Tammy Lackey's in the chat. And, of course, the token libertarian, Lon Denard.
Yes,
welcome.
Lon. Yeah.
Welcome, Lon. Welcome. Well, we got some interesting stuff going on tonight, Lloyd. We've got a little bit to talk about with, let's see, I need to change this to this.
I was going to ask you, Mel. You said you was running a little bit behind again. You're always running behind on Sunday. This show starts at 6 o'clock every Sunday night, and yet you're still always behind. It's supposed to.
Well, I clicked the start button at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, but
and at 6 o'clock, at 6 o'clock and 30 seconds, it wasn't live. So I started checking things, and last week when I had all my get-ups, I changed my stream key, and so this week it was the old stream key. So I pasted the stream key in real quick and reset it, and then it
Yeah.
started going live. So it was about 6:01 when I went live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But every week you have this show, and every week you're always behind getting in here. It's like you don't know what's coming up, or is it always a surprise to you, or what?
Yeah, it's a surprise. I never know. Yeah, the whole show's a surprise.
It usually is. Yeah, it's a surprise whether it's going to start or not.
I'll be surprised if it all goes well. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't know if you can see this little box sitting here in the corner on my shelf, but
I see a box. Yeah.
that's actually the world's smallest computer.
Oh. Is that
That's a 3D printed box for
Oh, okay.
my Raspberry Pi with my 5-inch screen
Raspberry
mounted with a hole in it for my RGB cooling fan. And that thing is, that heat sink and stuff, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it in there, but if I get the angle right,
Yeah.
that heat sink is massive. But
Yeah, it is.
so I had this thing all set up. I was going to have a video playing on it. And then at 25 till the hour, I decided to make it do a slideshow instead.
Mhm.
Well, I have to put the program in there for it to do that. And
And you didn't have the program in there.
no, I got the program in there. The problem is I don't know how to stop the execution of the program, because now when I boot the Raspberry Pi up, it says insert a chip with your images on it, and I don't have a chip ready, and you're supposed to be able to hit escape and exit out of that program, but that didn't work, so I don't know what's going on with it. So right now it's a paperweight, but it's a damn cool looking paperweight, wouldn't you say?
It is an awesome paperweight. It is.
Yeah. So I was kind of disappointed at that, and that's the reason that I was late getting in the seat, because I was frantically trying to get that thing working before I
Yeah.
got started. Well, we have another.
My show tomorrow is going to be very basic because, I mean, I'm going to do it on StreamYard, but I'm not going to have the fancy intro and none of that stuff with me tomorrow because I'm going to be doing it from the cabin, I hope.
Okay, well, if you do it with your phone, as long as you sit outside, you should be all right. It
Yeah,
worked much
yeah.
better
Had
when
good
you went
image when I-
outside.
Yeah. Once I went outside, it was. I'll just sit out there on the front porch and run it from there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all you got to do. Whoa.
Yeah.
Man, I need a new video card. You know how when you grab a window and drag it across your screen and move things around?
Mm-hmm.
When I grab a hold of the vMix window, because it's doing so much stuff, and I got every other monitor in use doing stuff,
Right.
and so my video card is like, hey, dummy. So I grab the vMix window and go to drag it across the screen, and when I stop, it just kind of keeps going and then comes back to me, you know.
Yeah. I've seen that happen when the video cards are going out.
kind of floating on the screen instead of hanging out there, you know. But anyway, yeah, Raspberry Pi. Except these you can't put whipped cream on and eat them, you know. I mean,
You could. I don't know if it'd be healthy for you, but you could.
I don't think it'd be a good idea. Just
I wouldn't want to try it.
yeah.
I'd just
So,
rather have teeth.
Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about, even though I didn't get a single reply from everybody that I reached out to, we're going to go without them. We're going to talk about flying drones at airports. And is it legal or not? What do you think?
Well, it has to do with what the airspace restrictions, depending on which airport.
Depending on which airport.
And yeah, and I think it has to do with that upside down pyramid thing, how close you can, fly
The
with
upside
that.
down wedding cake, you mean?
Yeah, whatever
Yeah.
it is. It's a pyramid.
Something
down.
upside down, right?
What the hell did I say? Yeah. It's like that,
Yeah.
what the hell?
Oh, my goodness.
The upside down wedgie.
Sorta, almost, kinda, yeah.
You had to stop thinking
And-
about that for a second.
But, when you start going there and getting your wedgie, you kinda...
Yeah.
Doc Murdoch.
Gotta watch out for those swirlies too.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Now, those are definitely upside down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's like layers of a
Especially
cake.
since Lloyd's getting the bowl, I mean, that swirly's coming.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah. Can't do a swirly yet. The water's not hooked up.
Oh.
It'd just be a dry
Yeah.
swirly.
Yeah. I tell you what.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah. In the process of setting this whole thing up, I've, temporarily we're using it's a 5-gallon bucket with a friggin' lid on it,
Yep.
But you have to be careful with those because you can fall off them and create problems.
Could get a little messy.
I'm really going to be working hard this week to get that friggin' toilet hooked up because I don't want to have to use that bucket other than just absolutely necessary when I have to. So, yeah.
Well-
So goes the
Absolutely.
life of the grumpy vlogger.
But
It'll
bucket-
definitely make for a good vlog.
buckets can have their
Yeah, it would.
buckets can have their positive features.
Yeah, but when you're
You know?
coordinated, it's like a balancing act trying to stay on that damn thing.
As long as he doesn't kick the bucket, while he's on it, you're all right.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. You don't want to do that. Absolutely not. You don't-
Getting too many metaphors
My
for
audio
this,
is
you know.
down again.
You don't want that to happen.
Don't want to kick the bucket.
No. So, Lloyd, what else you got going on up there at the cabin?
Well, nothing. I'm just getting all that set up, and I've got a couple cabinets I got to put in up there because we're going to insert the stove into a cabinet system. So we have a gas stove and oven, and I'll have to vent it out, but propane. So I'll want it vented out. But
Yeah.
that, and I'm going to be doing some flying up there, and finally got my. I think I got my. I'm gonna just for a second because this is pertinent here, because this is a drone channel. Let me mute
I
my
can't wait for the crash videos. Those are the best. They always are.
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth?
Well, okay, this is my radio with all of its doodads and stuff, and you can see that's what the normal model screen looks like, right? Well, as I was upgrading the OpenTX, I don't know, somewhere along the line, I pushed a button somewhere, and next time I looked up, I had this really spiffy little thing. Okay, it shows, when you're,
Your stick positions.
that
That's
thing,
that's your
okay.
main screen right there.
well, let me show you something else. Okay, this was the next one that popped up.
Move
Okay.
your lanyard.
Oh, that damn strap. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just another screen in your list. All you got to do is hit your back button and get out of that.
They don't tell you that crap. And eventually I got to this one. Right?
Yep.
Nobody tells you if you push that page button accidentally too many times. So I thought, okay. And then I've got, yeah. So I put in OpenTX. I went through, I watched this guy, he does 6 videos on how to put this crap in. I did it step by step, everything he did. I did it 3 times. And then after it was all through, that first screen popped up, the initial model, screen.
Right.
That one.
Yep.
It's like, and all of a sudden I pushed the page button again, and I was like, why in the hell don't they tell you that crap? If you push the page button when you're in your model, it'll go through a bunch of screens. I was sitting there redoing it. Of course, it started out, it didn't have an SD card in it, so I had to get that. It just, oh my God. So I'm going to make a video on how to, I'm going to make a video for stupid people like me.
Oh, for the
Or
old
somebody
days,
else
right, Mel? Remember the old Futaba radios and the Kraft radios and all them?
Didn't have any of those kind of troubles, did you?
Not a bit, man.
It either
Flip
worked
switch.
or it didn't
You
work.
just switched out a crystal and, put your little
If you
flag
could
on
even
and
get to the
race
crystals,
your-
yeah.
Yeah, some of them, yeah.
Some of them you couldn't get to the crystals; they were inside.
Right.
That's right.
Like the Kraft radios, they were all closed up in a metal box.
Mm-hmm.
And I now have that.
Until they got to the newer
annoying broad
versions.
that-
Yeah.
I have that annoying broad that says, "Welcome to OpenTX," and I haven't programmed a volume button to make my little.
Well, when did
there
you
so I can
when
turn
did you
her.
teach Judy to say that?
I didn't, but it's about as annoying.
Oh, Lloyd,
She's
you're going to
just
have
sleeping,
so
not
much
watching
fun
this,
with
so I
that
can-
audio. Because you can program all the voices.
Yeah,
Oh, I
you
know,
can
I know,
have
yeah.
fun with it. You can
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
you can probably even add in your own audio, and you can get Judy to record things for you, and then you can actually have Judy talking to you.
I go out to fly so that I can escape. Why would I need a controller sounding like my wife telling me what to do?
So that you feel at home.
Think about that. It's not that far away.
He's
and I
thinking
usually
about
have her
it.
on a monitor. Yeah. No, I love my wife.
Mm.
I'm going
Oh,
outside
my
where I know
goodness.
she won't be. That way I can fly out there and she'll, yeah.
Well, now I know better. Judy will get up and wander wherever she wants to.
Oh,
I've,
yeah, she
I've
does.
seen her do
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, well, when I lost the drone out in the backyard, she comes. I'm wandering around out there, and all of a sudden I see something out of the corner of my eyes. Like, what the? She went down the steps and walked clear across the width of our yard, and I like, what the hell are you doing out here? And she's about to fall over. But I got her back and got her to where she could sit down, and finally got her inside. I said, "You stay in here and quit." But she's.
Well, that
Yeah, there goes 90% of the reason to fly. If you put your wife's voice on there, what's the, just, you gotta think about that. You gotta think that stuff through.
well.
Of course, it depends on what she says, I mean, come on.
Right. So
Yeah,
anyway,
women.
we'll move on from all that. We'll move
Yeah,
on.
but
I'll
that's part of
save
the
you here,
drone
Lloyd.
fun.
We'll move on from all that.
Yeah, let's just go to another subject.
DJI or anybody else that might happen to be watching or listening in that thinks they need to send something, a video, an email, a video link rather, or an email or anything electronic like that, 400agluploads@gmail.com is the way to get it done. And then, of course, if you got to send something tangible, I don't know, bottle of whiskey or a drone or something, right there, bottle, P.O. Box 12, Holiday, Tennessee 38341 is the way you get that done. And then, just in case you decide that you need to do your 107, right here is how you get that with Remote Pilot 101 AGL.com. And there is a link on my website for a huge discount. 400AGL.net.
Yep.
Huge discount, like $50 off roughly.
And Mel's pushing to be the second most used coupon code.
Well, when people find out it's $4 cheaper than the first most used, it'll probably happen pretty quick. I just got to get the word out there somehow, right?
That's right.
Get the word out, yeah.
So, I had the opportunity to go do some actual client work this last week. So I'm going to share a few photographs from this job I did. Now, 2 weeks ago tomorrow, we had some tornadoes go through this area. One of them hit up in Van Buren pretty good, tore up some houses, uprooted some trees and things. This video, or these photos, are in regards to that, the tornadoes that went through at the beginning of the week. And this was a maple tree that got blowed over. Now you can't see it from this angle, but that root ball is about 10 feet tall from ground up. You can kind of see it there.
Wow.
It's 30 feet from the fence. The fence is a 6 or 8 foot fence, and it's almost over the top of the fence, and I'm 40 feet in the air. You know, so that gives you an angle of the comparison. But it certainly blew over, and it's the second one that I've seen that someone's tree blew over and hit somebody else's house.
Wow.
You know? So this one hit in the garage, but on the back of the garage is living quarters, and so it did some, because you can see a vent pipe there. So there's a room at this end of the house right there of some kind, and it tore it up pretty good. In the video, and I can probably cue it up pretty easily and show you, but if you look on this shot right here, in the shot, whoops, oh, let me go here. The root ball is no longer laying down. It's standing up again. That tree was about, I'm going to say, nearly 4 feet across right there at the base.
That was a big tree.
When he cut it, he was almost through it and his saw got stuck. And then all of a sudden it started groaning and cracking, and it snapped off, and the root ball fell back over onto the ground like it normally would be sitting. It scared the daylights out of him because the end of the log that he had just finished cutting almost landed on him. And then right up the street from there is another house with a whole bunch of trees laying on it.
Wow.
This one here, the whole thing is got tree in the front yard, in the backyard. I mean, there's both back corners of the house have got trees laying on them. The front yard's got that tree laying in front of it there. But yeah, we had some pretty interesting stuff, and I got to shoot video of all that this last week.
Cool. Wow.
But on to the next topic. I just wanted to share that stuff. Can you fly at airports? That's a question for the chat. Yes, no, maybe, indifferent, possibly.
Well, I guess the better question is not whether you can, but whether it's legal.
Okay. Is it legal?
Let's get a little more detailed. Obviously, planes can fly at airports, so we need to differentiate between manned aircraft and unmanned.
And unmanned aircraft.
There you go. So
Yeah, that's the
specifically,
question.
can you fly
That's
a
a good point.
UAV at an airport?
An unmanned aerial vehicle or system, UAS,
That's
UAV. Remote controlled aircraft of some nature. Can you fly it at
Not
an
remote.
airport?
Not remote, Mel. Remember,
Not
remote,
remote.
you got to tether to it.
Ah,
It's radio control.
radio control.
Radio
Mhm.
controlled.
That's right.
JS
And
says
even
depends. That's a brand of
some of
diapers,
those-
buddy.
They're yeah. Sure look like my COVID mask. But anyways, at least the display of my COVID mask.
Well, so far we got a yes and an
Yeah, great.
indifferent.
Well, a yes with a question.
Uh-huh.
That's my brother, and he's like, yeah, maybe. But he knows me, so he knows that I'm going somewhere with this, which is why he's doing it that way.
Lon says
Lon says
be
yes.
done legally.
It can be done legally.
Mhm.
Okay. Would it normally or most often need some kind of special clearance or anything, or can you just do it? Basically,
You probably need to
per
go through
the
Lance
simplest form.
or Lanks or whatever they call it.
Lance? Yeah, even without that. Can you
Yeah.
just do it without that? Can you just fly? In other words.
Again, it depends on the
Yeah.
airspace.
Okay. The answer is a little worse than that, because can you just fly? The answer is no. You can't just fly. There are some things you have to do.
That's
If
right.
you're in the correct airspace, you can do it pretty easily.
Mhm.
And
The short answer, though, is yes, you can fly at any airport. But there are hoops you have to go through to do it.
depending on the airport is the number of hoops and the size of them.
That is
Yeah.
correct.
Exactly. So what I'm going to do is whoops. The hell is that?
I'm moving around. I'm getting that little.
Yeah. How am I? Oh, I know why. It's because I'm on the wrong setting thing here. Okay, main. Now if I zoom this one, it ought to bring this up. Because this is going to change things around a little bit. What am I looking for? I think it's right here. Yeah, let's look at this particular
Defiance.
airport.
Yeah.
Defiance,
Yeah.
Ohio.
You'll only be able to zoom in so far. So
Defiance, Ohio, for example. Well, that gives me a full screen on the YouTube screen, and that's what I wanted. So,
that'll be perfect.
Defiance, Ohio. What do you think you have to do? People in chat, tell me. What do you think you have to do to fly at Defiance, Ohio Airport, which is this airport right here? Notice it's got the magenta ring around it, and Williams County Airport up here just to the north of it. So, what do you have to do? What do you have to be worried about? Do you have
Well,
to
the
be
first thing that they'd have to answer is, what class airport is it?
right? So what do you have to do? What do you have to figure out? And what do you have to work
If I'm
with?
reading this and I may be wrong, Class C.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
The magenta
That's why I
ring
remember
means
part
Class E.
107.
The magenta ring
Class
means
E.
Class E.
Mm-hmm.
Get cleared for it. Nope, no clearance required, little brother. Using the phrase at an airport makes it seem like you can take off from the tarmac.
On the
Nope.
runway.
Actually,
Yeah.
you can.
Yes,
Actually, you can take off from the runway. Absolutely.
you can. So the next question that has to be answered is, does this airport have a tower or no tower?
This airport does not have a tower.
That's right.
This airport is on what they call Unicom frequency, where you just talk to all the other
That's
airplanes
correct.
around on 122.7.
Because it says it's a private airport.
But it's actually for public use.
Yes.
So, Kent's asking, so how do you fly from the airport runway? Well, This particular airport is labeled as Class E airspace by the magenta ring around it, and the however many times in a live stream or a video
Lloyd?
on my channel.
I'm hearing some wonderful music.
What,
It's soothing.
Away a Mavic Mini,
Lloyd, what are you playing?
is going to be what you're going to have to know to win.
Actually, I think that's you, Mel.
No, that's Lloyd's
Well,
camera.
it was your
doing.
voice.
Yeah, it's because Lloyd's playing
Yeah.
a video. So you got Williams County up here. It's the same kind of airport, uncontrolled. Their Unicom frequency is 122.8. Okay. Defiance is 122.7. Thinks he's a know-it-all, but he's not. What are you talking about, Lon? So here's the thing. This Class E airspace has a floor of 700 feet, which means what, Chris? It means that you can fly a drone up to 400 feet at this airport without any
correct.
special FAA permission or clearance.
That's correct.
You
So
don't
the
even
next
need
question
clearance. You
is-
don't even need clearance from the airport.
That's right.
All you need to be is in contact with who, Chris? How many people do you need to be in contact with?
Whomever you are flying around. And the main thing is through Unicom. Have to announce your intentions.
That's right. Now, if you're a drone pilot, you don't have a tail number per se. You have a
That's correct.
registration number for your aircraft. So, would you use the last 3 or 4 letters of your registration number
Actually,
to
no.
identify yourself as a drone pilot?
How I would do it is I would announce drone operations. So that way they know there is a drone.
So this one
in
would
the
be
area.
Muncie Unicom, Muncie traffic drone operations in the area, runway 30, 25 feet
That is correct.
south of the end of the runway or something.
That's correct.
So,
Eh.
saying, hey, y'all, I'm flying my SEMA X8C in here. That probably wouldn't work.
Well, it would, but they'd sure wonder what the hell you're talking about.
That's right. Most everybody knows what a drone is in general. So
Yeah.
by saying you have a drone operation going on and you give your location, they now know. And that's what announcing your intentions is all about.
And then, of course,
So now we
because
got to bring up the question.
you have a
why are we
radio, they're
talking
listening.
about this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been, well, one I know for sure YouTube video where a guy chases an airplane with an FPV drone. There's some other channels, and I'm not going to squawk about saying who they are, but
Nope.
Ken Herron does it. Trent Palmer does it. There's several people that do it. I just don't have an entire list in front of me.
I actually
So-
watched 3 other videos today or actually it was last night, that did exactly the same thing.
Right.
So 3
Right.
other channels.
So in the comments of this video that I watch, I'm a regular subscriber of this guy. His name's Kevin. And I asked permission to show footage of his video, but I haven't heard back from him yet, so I'm not going to show it. I would have liked to. But as he taxis down the taxiway at Defiance Memorial Airport and then departs, there's a drone shooting video footage of him, following him on the taxiway, following him on the runway, and watching his takeoff. And he had that footage, and he included it in his video. They did it for him and provided him the footage.
That's right.
And somebody commented about what nice drone footage it was, and so I commented, yeah, man, I wished I was the guy that was doing it. You know, somebody else commented, oh, you better not, it's illegal. FAA catches them, blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't all that bad, but
Oh.
he was pretty well banging on the
Yeah.
fact that there was a drone flight happening at the airport.
Right.
And so Kevin replied to him. He's like, well, I thought drone flight's legal in Class G airspace. So back to the point that I was trying to make about the airspace, the Class E airspace for that airport, the floor is 700 feet, which means below that, 0 to 700 feet, is Class G airspace. And so it's totally, hello, Joe, totally legal to fly your drone in that airspace.
Yeah.
So you can fly within a half a mile of the airport. You can fly up to 400 feet because drones are legal to 400 feet above ground level.
Yeah.
And you have no worries, nothing to worry about. You can fly in that airspace. It's Class G airspace. You're perfectly legal to fly there. Hello, Matt. So, anyway, the conversation went as the guy that was saying, oh, they better hope they don't get caught. After Kevin pointed out to him it was Class G airspace, the guy said, oh, well, I guess I should have checked before I talked about it. And I thought, well, you know, I did. That's why I said, I wish I was the guy flying the drone. But there are certain circumstances.
Yeah. Because I think Ken Heron discussed some of that and what he went through and all the different things about. He kind of went into that a little bit on one or two of the videos he did chasing that plane. You know.
That's right.
Right. Now, I'm looking.
So there is an FAA regulation that talks about what you can and can't do as far as safety is concerned.
Yeah.
And it's not specific to drones. It's aviation in general.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's the one that they always bring up.
And there's some good topics that go along with it, because what that starts touching base on is not really whether or not if it's legal, but whether or not it's considered careless endangerment.
Yep. Reckless. Let's see here. Let me find the words here.
Yeah, I believe it's listed as
states-
careless endangerment, isn't it?
Yeah, it's careless or reckless operation.
Yeah. So, just to...
And for those that are interested in, it's 14 CFR 91.13.
I got to ask, do you have that thing memorized yet? The FAA rules?
Close.
Because you're like
There's,
getting close, because you could just about pop that out like that. Yeah.
there's so much.
I do take the time to research it. Not to mention,
Yeah.
I have that. And it's that thick.
Yeah.
So
It looks
and
like
it's
they shaved a
because-
couple
and-
pounds off of it.
yeah, well, and just so those that are in the chat know, not everybody may know, but I'm a Part 61 private pilot. Okay, I have over 300 hours, most of which is long distance cross country, flying from California to New Mexico and back, and I'm building my own airplane from scratch. No, no kit or anything like that, just a set of blueprints, and yeah. So I have to know the regulations as to what I can and can't do, as well as know where I can and can't fly.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
that way
so
everybody understands.
here's
I
here's
have a
Lon's
knowledge base to this.
Here's Lon's comment. Cherry picked a specific airport that falls under specific conditions, but generally you don't believe that goes for every airport in the country. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Watch this. I'm going to zoom this out. Okay? Well, if I zoom out too far, you can't see it. I need to zoom this. Let's reset that to normal. And then I can zoom this. Now we can still see. Pick any one of these airports anywhere in the country. Whoops. Same situation. Class E airspace. Class E airspace has a floor. You'd have to read the notes for this particular airport to see what the floor is, but it's probably 700 feet because that's a general norm. So, no, Lon, I did not specifically pick Any one of these
You
airports.
chose that airport. Yeah, you chose that airport
Because
simply
that's where the
that's where
video was actually shot.
right.
That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's why I chose that airport. But
That's correct.
now you get over here, now you got a different story, okay?
That's
But
right.
out here, rural areas, for the most
They're all
part,
Class C airports.
every one of them are Class C airports. So, no,
Right.
Lon, nice try. You didn't get me busted.
All right. No, you know what? Now Lon asked, how about O'Hare? Okay. O'Hare Airport is a Class B airport. Okay. So what does that mean? Now, Lon, Lon, are you a Part 107? I don't remember if you are or not off the top of my head. So
Let's talk about it.
away from to answer that, because I want to know if he's got his 107, because it'll kind of help. Come on, Lon, type it.
In line with the landing strip.
We don't want to know about your landing strip, Lon.
Okay, Lon says he's not anymore. All right. So everybody understands, when you go into Class B airspace, if you've done your 107, you've had to know about these airspaces. Class B airspace, you cannot enter Class B airspace without prior permission. Period. Doesn't
Right.
matter what aircraft you're flying, whether it's an airplane, helicopter, glider, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
You need approval to enter the airspace.
Prior approval.
Yeah.
Okay. So that means if you're flying towards a Class B airspace airport and you're going to enter their Class B airspace, you make a radio call, you wait for that controller to get back to you and say yes or no. If they say yes, then you can continue on. If they do not answer and you're getting close to the edge of the Class B airspace, you need to turn, because
Yep.
you cannot enter that Class B airspace without prior approval. Okay?
Without
So with
the
that
controller's
said,
permission.
that's right. With that said, so let's say you're on the airport, a Class B airport, which means their Class B airspace goes all the way down to the surface now. And you're doing a commercial shoot with a drone for a full-size airplane for a company on that airport. So is it legal to fly there? Absolutely. Because what you will have to do is, one, have communication with the airport prior, because you need permission to take off. Two, you need communication with the aircraft you're going to chase or take video of. Three, you need this all planned out and in writing with the airport in particular. That way everybody knows what's going on and when. And then when the operation starts, you complete your shot. You then have to contact the tower and tell them
Right.
you're done and request permission to land. I mean, it's no different than if you were flying a helicopter, full
Right.
size. You would
Yep.
do exactly the
Right.
same operation.
It's
So,
and it's really that easy in I'll call it rural parts of the country to
right.
fly at literally on the property of the airport, because it's
right.
just it's not a big deal. It's sometimes you gotta line some ducks up,
That's
and
right.
sometimes you don't have a thing to worry about. Sometimes all you gotta do is get her done, you know.
So then that brings up the question, what does the FAA have to say about it? And that's where we have 14 CFR Part 91.13. And this is the one regulation that they bring up when they get their panties in a bunch about anything. And it doesn't have to be about drones, it can be about a lot of different things. But this is the one that is most often cited when drone operations are conducted around full-size aircraft.
Right.
So the biggest thing about it is safety. So how do you mitigate safety when you want to do a drone shot of a full-size aircraft, whether it's on the ground or in flight? Pre-planning and communication. Those two things mitigate everything.
Now,
And
I have
quite
a
honestly,
question
the
that-
guys that do this the best that I have watched are the group called the Flying Cowboys. They do backcountry flying Oftentimes they are 1 or 2 airplanes, and sometimes they are 5 and 10 airplanes strong going into these backcountry airstrips. Sometimes they're not even airstrips. Matter of fact, most of the time they're not airstrips.
Yeah.
They're sandbars and gravel beds. Yep.
Everything, yeah. And they pre-plan who goes in first, how far they're apart, what altitude they're going to approach at, what direction they're going to approach at, and who controls it, who goes on the ground first. I mean, they talk about this before they even take off.
Yeah, before they even go fly. Yeah. Yep.
So they pre-plan all of this, and it's
and
no different.
And they have a
when
good
they
time
go out.
doing it.
Oh my goodness, yeah, absolutely. But
Yeah.
then they do the same thing when they go out and do drone shots of these bush planes doing their bush thing. And
Yep.
they pre-plan the shot. They are in communication with each other to where the drone pilot and the full-size pilot, they know exactly who's doing what, when, and where. So
Yep.
that way there is almost never a possibility of the aircraft running into the drone or vice versa.
And I reached
So-
out to Kevin to see if I could use his footage because I didn't want to just use it without his permission,
Right.
and or to see if he would come on the show and talk about
Mhm.
his airplane and the work he had done on it there at that repair facility that he had it at,
Yeah,
which is
apparently
the
that was
reason
pretty extensive.
reason he was in Defiance. But yeah, so he didn't get back to me in time. I don't know, maybe I'll hear from him and we can talk about it again next week. But within the Grass Airport down the road, DJI app always warns you. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that-
now
that's
let's
another
discuss
thing.
that a little bit. Yeah.
The DJI
See,
app
DJI
may prevent you from doing it
That's
without
correct.
getting signed off by them, which is,
or at all.
yeah, they may prevent you from
Unless-
doing it at all. So,
Unless you use no limit drones,
Autel Evo.
and then you can, or an Autel Evil, yeah. But if you
Yeah.
have a DJI, get the no limit drones and install that into your. As
Mhm.
long as you're out of. Actually, I don't think it makes any difference.
yeah, you need to be out of
But
warranty.
You can
Yep.
Well, you should be out of warranty because
You
it'll
should
void
be
your
out of
warranty as soon as you do it.
actually, there's been some conversation back. I listened to on somebody else's show until I got frustrated. Some old hippie. I won't say who, but anyways. Like I said.
Well, I
leave it
don't
to the
resemble
hippie
that
to
remark, so I'm
complicate
okay.
it.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
you don't. No, but nobody. Somebody in the channel knows who I'm talking about. But, anyways, they were discussing that, and from what I understand, the way Greg explained it, it doesn't void the warranty. But
Ah,
if it's not a brand
Yeah.
new drone, because I think you can take the software back out without it having any repercussions.
Okay.
So
I wish I still
and
had
if you
my.
don't-
I know I have a license number for it. I just don't know because I never did sign up for it because my drone was still in warranty, so I wasn't worried about it.
Yeah.
right.
But now that it's
But,
out of
I mean,
warranty, I'm thinking about doing that myself.
Yeah, because that
See,
way
now-
you can take those limits out.
Yeah.
Still fly
Well, see, the
legal,
thing is,
but-
Joe, is it's not about the warning, Joe. It's
Right.
about being able to legally fly somewhere and DJI preventing you from flying there because they don't know you can legally fly there.
And then also to what he said about that, a reminder to watch out. Well, what you have to understand is there's an international treaty between all countries. And the basic rule is that the pilot in command is solely responsible,
Yep.
irregardless.
Yep.
The pilot in command has final say-so. And when DJI says
Yeah.
no, when you can, well, then they're overriding that, and that's not legal.
Right.
So it's your responsibility
Yeah.
as the pilot to know what airspace you're in, to know
And
whether you're legal to be in that airspace, to know how high you can fly, whether you can even fly there. That's on you. It's
and
not
Joe,
on the app.
just to clarify, having or not having a tower doesn't determine whether or
No.
not approval is required.
That's correct. All that changes is how not so much approval but communication. So instead of announcing what you're doing on Unicom, you'd announce that you'd actually contact the tower,
That's
make sure they know what's going on, what you're
yeah.
going to
That's
do.
something on contacting them on Unicom. Now, do you use one of
Actually,
those- what type of
a
radio?
drone pilot.
You have
what
to
you're
have an
supposed
aviation radio.
as a
Okay,
drone
you do
pilot,
have
you're
to have
supposed
an
to
aviation
contact the
radio.
tower on the telephone, but they recently changed that because they were getting inundated with
Right.
phone calls. So now they don't want you calling them
I
on
knew
the
they'd
phone
change
anymore. That's when Lance started getting stuff set up.
See, to do what they did over there at Defiance, if that was a towered airport, is that the
That's
drone
the line.
pilot would have the drone pilot would have contacted the tower directly,
Right,
okay,
right,
on site, because he's on site. So they're going to perform an aviation operation. So they would get it would be permission, but it would be permission in the sense that this is what we intend to do, and we're going to do it with the radio. So that way they're in
Right.
full communication.
right. Now, and Brent Nunley brings up a good point too. He gets clearance via the FAA and doesn't believe DJI has any right to hold any decision making. And
That is absolutely correct.
well, there's two
limit
there's
drones.
two thoughts to that. Okay, FAA clearance to fly, or our regulations, DJI has no business in. But I'm okay with them implementing permanent no-fly zones, prisons, nuclear power plants. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm
Places
okay
that
with.
actually have restricted airspace.
I'm okay with places that it's illegal for any damn thing to fly.
That's correct.
Okay, being blocked on a DJI app. All right, but when it comes to airports and things like that, they just got no business in it, as far as I'm concerned.
No, especially
I don't have a
when
problem with them
partially-
giving you warning saying you're approaching this airspace, you're this or that, but
And
not
push the check mark like you
restricting
used to that said you accept responsibility and click OK.
it. That's correct.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
and the other two things is with no limit drones, you can turn on or off as much as you want. So if you still want that warning that tells you you're entering airspace, okay, you can do that. You can turn it on or off. The other part of this is DJI is partially owned by a foreign entity. And they're telling us in our country how that we can't fly around that area. They
Yeah.
have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys. That's
So,
the
I
end
got
of the
one
hour.
question before we go.
Okay.
I got one question. This is for you and or Doc. What is the best inexpensive balance charger or charger for anywhere from 1S to 6S batteries with its own power supply without having to buy a second power supply?
Mine's
well, when you're-
self-contained.
Yeah, when you're down to the 1S,
Yeah, I was gonna
it's a little more difficult. But once you get above 3S,
Well, I'm not really worried about 1S, but let's
they're
go
better.
2S to 6.
okay.
Yeah,
Let's go 2S to 6.
I like the ISDT chargers. I have one. I've been using it for 3 years, and it has not missed a beat.
Keep that going. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Does it
The
have
new
its
one.
own power supply built in?
No, I actually have to use a separate one because it's designed for DC operations. So I purchased
Right.
a 24 volt, 20 amp power supply to power it at the house. But when I go out in the field, I don't take that with me. So I have a
Right, you just run it off a bat.
I got an extension cord that I plug into the battery on the car. Just remember to start your car before you do it. Okay. Otherwise, you ain't going to start your car afterwards. So, but they do have, like the one that I have is not produced anymore. But they have a newer version of it mine's a 20 amp. The newer version's a 30 amp. So, and the 30 amp one, it doesn't limit it to 6S, it goes all the way up to 8S. So you can pretty well
Yeah. Which
charge
brand
just
is
about any
that?
battery you
Yeah,
want.
that's-
ISDT.
That's what this will do up to 8. This is a Venom Pro, and it's got a 12-volt input on the side of it, so that you can with jumper lead, so you can hook it to your car battery if you want to take it with you portable, rather than plug it into the wall. It's got all
Now
of
that
the
one's got the power supply built into it for the wall, right?
yeah, it's everything. It's all in
Yeah,
one.
okay,
It's
that's
got all the
self-contained.
balance ports built into
There
it.
you go.
Okay, and the red and black leads here are what you plug in with banana clips to hook up to whatever battery you're charging, and then you plug the balance lead into the side of the charger. Then you program it on the front, tell the charger what cell battery it is, what amperage you want to charge at, and turn it loose.
And if
I
I'm
bought-
looking at this, these are like $49.
This is
that
a
right?
Venom Pro 2 is the one I've got, and it's a dual power because I can take it
Yeah, I gotta make
Right.
sure.
and connect it direct to my battery in my car or truck or solar panel batteries or whatever.
Yep.
And I can connect it right to that, and then so it's portable too. It doesn't just tie you down to the house.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was. You got the Venom Pro 4 charger, AC balance charger, discharge.
Yep, this does all that.
Okay, you want to make sure it's an AC and DC input.
AC DC, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it should say dual power on it or something.
Right.
Right.
See, where the ISDT chargers,
wrong
they are a
anyway.
DC only and would require a separate power
Right.
supply for AC operations.
Yeah.
So, no,
Okay.
I don't have a problem doing that because that's kind of the tinkering I do.
But
So-
this is
Oh,
it's just a Venom Pro 2, Lloyd.
I
I've
have
had
a
it
reason
about
for asking that.
I've had it probably 3 or 4 years, and it hasn't missed a beat. So that's what I use.
All right. Before we get out of here, I'm going to paste this if I can.
Hello, Jim.
I'm gonna paste
You're
the
late.
link to the FAA order 2150.3b, which explains the careless and reckless operation thing.
Uh-huh.
So that way, if anybody wants to go look at that, they can go look it up. Let's see here. Let me paste that. Let's see if it'll. Oh, I don't know if it'll do that. I don't have a wrench.
You're a member. You should have a wrench.
Okay, I pasted it. I don't know if it's a hot link though, but they can copy it out and be able to go to that particular site.
Do it again. I don't even see where you pasted it.
In the chat. Let me paste it one more time.
Are you in the
Yeah, I
chat?
didn't see it pop up either.
Yeah,
Really?
exactly.
It might not have. This might not be letting me. Yep, it's not letting me.
Well, yeah, it absolutely ought to.
Really? Are you in the right
That's
chat?
interesting. Hold on. Oh yeah, only one chat right now. Let me try it one more time.
Okay.
Wow, computer's not
Drone
letting me
Shots
do
has
it.
a HobbyMate D6.
Well, it did it once.
You're in the YouTube chat, right? Well, there isn't a chat.
Yes. Paste. There
Yeah.
it goes. And click. All right. I just pasted it again. Did it pop up?
Nope. Try typing in chat.
Oh.
I'm not seeing anything come from you in chat.
Really?
Are
well,
you on
maybe
the-
it's not
Well,
letting
have
me.
you,
Are you on the right keyboard
hang on a
and
second.
Oh yeah.
computer and all
Well,
that?
first off, he's a member, but he doesn't have a wrench.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
he does.
Oh, he does? That's what I looked at.
My way my name pops up, it's just green only.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah,
Instead of blue.
no, it should have a wrench next to it, Mel. Because you can be green and not have.
well,
Mhm.
Yeah,
hang on
Yeah.
a
he does
minute.
not have
Yeah,
a wrench.
Joe says I need a wrench.
Okay.
Wrench me, baby.
Well, type in chat. I don't
I
even.
did.
See,
Okay.
oh, there it
It's
is.
down
All
at the
right.
bottom.
Yeah.
Got a teach Mel everything how to do this. You know, it's just
I know, yeah,
these
it's
old
okay.
guys. You know, how
Us
they are.
damn whippersnappers.
You youngins.
Okay.
Yeah, got to teach these kids everything.
All right. It ought to work now.
Let's see
Yeah,
what
try it,
happens.
Doc.
Paste. There it goes. Okay, there's the hot link. So that's a link to
Okay,
the
so how come
to
I
the
still
Word doc.
don't?
Because
How
it
come I
takes a
still
minute.
don't
It's
see-
called
It takes a
Lag.
few seconds for it to catch up.
It's sort of like the game that Ellie played
Joe
here a couple
Blaylock
of weeks
says
ago
no, his wrench is
on-
gone.
Well, I'm trying to tell you, if you're a member, it doesn't show you having a wrench next to your name.
Yeah, but Joe had one.
Well, he became a member too since then.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something wonky going on there because now
Okay,
I
now,
don't see
now
the
Joe
link,
Blaylock was my very first member. Okay?
Yeah.
So I don't see how
What's going on?
it's something's weird's
was
going on
blue.
because I'm seeing his name in blue and in green.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I am
'cause
too.
in green
And I'm
he's
not
got no
seeing
wrench.
Doc Murdoch's link
I'm
at
not
all.
seeing Doc Murdoch's chat at all. Exactly.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
really.
it said it never popped
Wow.
up either.
'Cause
Lag
it's
was
on
screwing with us
mine.
tonight. Yeah,
Okay,
I
here,
discovered-
let's do it this way real quick.
Hang on. Let me
What I can
scroll.
do is, let me change my view here real quick. This is the link, guys. So we can leave it up for a minute. So if you just want to type it out, write it out. Okay, see, Above and Beyond says he sees the one by Doc, but I'm green.
Yeah, well, green means you're a member.
Right.
yeah,
interesting.
but it does. But
It's doing something weird. But this is the link, guys.
Yeah.
This is the link to the document that talks about the careless and reckless operation and what FAA looks at and how they go about determining. So the best way to do things and not fall afoul of this is literally to take the time, talk with whomever you're flying around, make sure everybody knows what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, and you're in communication with them while you're doing it. And by doing that, you're good to go. You will mitigate better than 90% of any issues that you could potentially run into, no matter what you're doing.
now Joe is blue and his wrench is back.
But he ought to be green. Type again. I just changed something, Joe. Type again in there
Well,
to see if
he's
it brings
got
you
his
back to
icon
green.
next to his name.
Only
There we
when
go.
he's green. Oh yeah, no, when he's blue
There
too.
it goes.
Okay.
Okay, now I just
There
posted
it
the link
goes.
again
There's-
just to see if it pops up.
Yeah. Yep, there it is.
Okay, now it
Okay.
shows up.
Now.
Okay, so there you
Don't
go,
touch
guys.
anything
So
new-
that's the
new,
link
Mel.
to this. So that way, if anybody has questions as to what FAA considers careless or reckless, remember it's not and reckless, it's or. They are two separate things that they look
Right.
at. Okay?
Right.
And they have a whole criteria and a whole thing that they go into. You know, and I've got
Hey,
the
don't you
whole
be
thing
knocking
right
on
there.
Cracker Barrel on.
This is all
So-
the stuff they talk about with this.
We're gonna get out of
So-
here, guys. It's 10 past the hour, and
Yeah, well,
yeah,
it's
we
just
ran
a clock.
over.
I'm gonna show this video real quick of this guy that was cutting down this trunk on this tree, and I want you to just pay attention to how surprised he was when it let go. I'm gonna try and zoom in on it a little bit here.
Well, you know what the cool part is? He didn't have to hire a landscaper to put the grass back.
Well, they are a landscaping company too. But if you watch when it's done, though, there's a gorge in the grass about 3 foot wide when that trunk
Oh,
hits the
yeah.
ground and moves, because it actually shifts its location when that root ball falls back down.
Oh my goodness!
So now he's waiting for somebody to get another saw because his saw is actually jammed.
Oh, there it goes.
But you see, watch him though. He's like,
That caught him by surprise.
it did. He wasn't expecting it to go when it did.
Nope. Now, the interesting part is he heard it moving because he has got his hand on the saw.
Oh, yeah, he's cutting.
I don't know if he was cutting right then. I think he was just holding on to the saw.
Look at the gorge in the ground,
Oh,
though.
my goodness. Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, he put the stump
What
back.
gets me is, for as tall as that tree is, how shallow the roots really were, and how
Yeah, did you
spread out
notice
they
that?
were.
Well, it's a maple. It's a
Yeah.
maple. They don't go deep.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like
Yeah, and
pines. Pines have got one main root that goes straight down, and the rest of them are all surface.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why both maples and pines are used for bonsais, because they have that. You can put them in the shallower pan, and they spread out
Mm-hmm.
horizontally rather than going vertically and then spreading.
Anyway,
Like cottonwoods.
Anyway.
Cottonwoods go everywhere. Ugh.
yeah.
Yeah.
But pretty much anything you plant in a shallow pan is going to stay within its confines, though. I mean, it
Well,
can't
but
go deeper than
some
the
trees
pan
are-
is.
That's
Right.
true, but what you do with a lot of them in a bonsai, you pull them out and you plant them in a deep bucket. Then you take them out and you spread the roots out, and it's easier on maples and pines because the roots spread out easier
Oh,
because they're naturally like that.
well, there you go. That I don't know
I like
nothing
that.
about no damn
I
tree.
know a little bit about
Brent
bonsai.
Nunley says it did a dock.
Didn't it? Hemlocks tip over all the time, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, kids. Chris, thanks. Lloyd, thank you.
You bet.
We'll
You
see you
bet.
tomorrow
Glad
night,
to be here.
no matter what kind of
Yeah,
show you end up
yeah,
having.
I'll
We'll just
I'll
make
either
sure
be,
you pull the pin first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I will, who knows? I may be sitting on my new throne and do the show live from
Oh,
inside
no.
the cabin on my new throne. I won't do
He'll
that.
be able to give us a live
Yeah.
swirly.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys.
All right.
We'll see you later.
Have a good night, guys.
Later, everyone.
Good night,
Good
everybody.
night, all.
And as always, everybody, I know you could have been anywhere. You chose to be here. Thank you for the support and thanks for being here. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.